Let me ask you something real quick. You're earning decent money, maybe not life-changing money, but decent. You pay your bills. You treat yourself sometimes. And at the end of every month, you open your banking app, scroll down to your savings balance, and somehow it's basically the same as it was 3 months ago. Maybe a little worse? And the frustrating part isn't even the number, it's that you don't know where it went. You didn't blow it on anything crazy. There was no big emergency, no reckless weekend in Vegas. It just went quietly, like it always does. Here's the thing, that's not a money problem, that's a habits problem. And the reason most people never fix it is because these habits are invisible. They don't look like habits. They look like normal life. They feel like reasonable decisions, and that's exactly what makes them so expensive. I know because I had all 8 of them, and fixing them one at a time, slowly, without completely overhauling my life is what actually changed my financial situation. So today I'm walking you through all 8, what they are, why they work against you, and exactly how I fixed each one. Let's get into it. Habit number 1 is something I call deferred starting. And it sounds like this. I'll start saving properly when I make a little more. I'll invest once I clear this debt. I'll get serious about money once things settle down. Sound familiar? Here's what nobody tells you about deferred starting. Things never settle down. There is no arrival point where life suddenly gets simpler and you have a perfect amount of mental and financial bandwidth to finally start. That moment does not exist. And every month you wait, you're not just delaying progress, you're actively losing it because of compounding. A 25-year-old who invests $200 a month until they're 65 at a 7% average return ends up with about $525,000. A 35-year-old doing the exact same thing ends up with about $243,000. Same behavior, same discipline. A 10-year delay cut the outcome nearly in half. That is the real cost of I'll start soon. How I fixed it? I stopped waiting for the right amount and started with whatever I could actually do right now. For me, that was $50 a month. Embarrassingly small. But it was real. It was automatic. And it started the habit. The amount grew over time. The habit was already there. Habit number 2, paying yourself last. This one is sneaky because it sounds responsible. You pay your rent, your phone bill, your subscriptions, your food, your going out money, and then whatever's left, if anything's left, goes to savings. The problem is that whatever's left has a remarkable talent for becoming nothing, because spending expands to fill available income. It's not a willpower issue, it's just how humans work. If the money is there, the brain finds a use for it. A coffee here, an impulse buy there, a slightly more expensive dinner because it was a hard week. According to a 2023 Bankrate survey, only 44% of Americans could cover a $1,000 emergency from savings. And I'd argue a big piece of that isn't income, it's sequencing. When savings is last in line, it rarely makes it. How I fixed it, I flipped the sequence. Savings leave my account automatically the same day I get paid before I ever see them. What's left is my spending money and I live on that. It felt tight at first. Then I adapted, because that's what humans do. We adapt to constraints. We just rarely give ourselves the constraint. Habit number 3 is one of my personal favorites to talk about because it is so deeply, universally relatable. I call it the subscription fog. You signed up for things over months and years, streaming services, apps, meal kits, fitness platforms, that one thing you signed up for during a free trial and completely forgot to cancel. And they're all pulling small amounts from your account every month, quietly, automatically, so automatically that you stop noticing them. A NerdWallet study found that Americans underestimate their monthly subscription spending by an average of $133 per month. Per month, that's over $1,500 a year that people genuinely cannot account for when asked. It's not that they're lying, they just don't know, because the amounts are small, the charges are spread out, and the whole system is designed to be forgettable. How I fixed it, I did a full subscription audit. I pulled up 3 months of bank statements and highlighted every recurring charge. Some of them I'd completely forgotten existed. I canceled anything I hadn't actively used in 30 days. The ones I kept, I made a conscious decision to keep. That audit recovered about $90 a month for me. Over a year, that's $1,080. It took 45 minutes. Habit number 4, emotional spending. And I know everyone has heard, don't emotional spend. But I don't think most people understand the full scope of when and how they do it, because it's not just retail therapy after a bad day. Emotional spending also happens when you're bored, when you're celebrating, when you're stressed, when you feel behind in life and buying something new makes you feel briefly ahead, when you're tired and ordering food is easier than thinking. The trigger is almost never "I need this." It's almost always "I feel something and this will help." And the reason it works short term is because it does help, briefly. Dopamine is real, but the relief lasts about 20 minutes and the charge lasts 30 days. How I fixed it? I introduced a 48-hour rule on any non-essential purchase over $3. If I still wanted it 48 hours later, I'd consider it. Most of the time, the urge was completely gone. Not because I was disciplined, but because I'd just given my brain enough time to detach from the emotional trigger. That one rule alone saved me hundreds of dollars in the first month. Habit number 5 is ignoring the small leaks. This is the habit that says it's only $4, it's only $12, it's only $8, and technically, individually, each one is fine. But money doesn't work in individual transactions. It works in patterns. Think about it like a boat with tiny holes. One small hole, you can manage it. But if you've got 15 small holes spread across the hull, you're slowly sinking and you don't even know which one to fix first. The $4 coffee isn't the problem. The $12 app fee isn't the problem. The $8 random charge isn't the problem. The pattern of dismissing small amounts because they're small, that's the problem. Because those small amounts add up to a large amount that you can't see because you've never looked at it all at once. How I fixed it. I started treating every purchase, regardless of size, as a vote. A vote for the kind of financial life I wanted. Not every vote has to be no, but every vote should be conscious. When I started paying attention to the $4 decisions with the same intentionality I gave the $400 decisions, my overall spending got noticeably tighter, without feeling like I was depriving myself of anything that actually mattered. Habit number 6, no budget budgeting. This is the habit of mentally tracking your spending without actually tracking it. Telling yourself you have a rough idea of where your money goes, having a vague intention to spend less, doing the financial equivalent of eating healthy by memory. No measurements, no tracking, just vibes and good intentions. Here's the thing about rough ideas, they are almost always wrong. In studies on financial self-assessment, people consistently overestimate their savings rate and underestimate their discretionary spending. We are not accurate narrators of our own money behavior. We remember the responsible purchases and forget the impulsive ones. We round down what we spent and round up what we saved. How I fixed it, I didn't build some elaborate spreadsheet. I just started using a simple, zero-based budget. Every dollar of income gets assigned a job before the month starts. Housing, food, transport, savings, fun money, everything. When the fun money is gone, it's gone. Having a plan isn't restrictive. It's actually the opposite. It gives you full permission to spend freely in every category you funded because you already know the important stuff is covered. Habit number 7 is the upgrade default. Every time your situation improves, new job, raise, bonus, new city, your lifestyle upgrades to match it automatically, without decision, without intention. New income means new apartment. Promotion means new car. We already talked about lifestyle inflation in another video, but the habit hiding inside it is the upgrade default. The assumption that improvement in income should automatically trigger improvement in lifestyle. And look, enjoying your money is not wrong. That's not the message. The message is that the upgrade should be a decision, not a default. There's a difference between choosing to upgrade your life and your life upgrading itself while you're not paying attention. How I fixed it. I created what I call a raise rule. Every time my income increases, the first thing that happens before anything else is that my automatic savings contribution increases by at least half of the new amount. I still get to enjoy part of the raise, but wealth gets the first cut, not lifestyle. And habit number 8, the one that ties all the others together, is financial avoidance. The habit of not looking, not opening the statements, not checking the balance, not doing the audit, not calculating the number. Because somewhere in the back of your mind, you're a little afraid of what you'll find. I understand this one deeply because I lived it. There was a period where I genuinely didn't check my account for weeks at a time because every time I did, the number made me anxious. So I stopped looking. And the not looking didn't fix anything. It just meant the problem kept growing quietly while I looked away. Financial avoidance is one of the most expensive habits on this list because it compounds everything else. The subscription fog grows because you're not looking at statements. The small leaks multiply because you're not tracking. The budget doesn't exist because building one requires confronting the numbers. Avoidance is the soil that every other bad habit grows in. How I fixed it. I started a weekly money date. Every Sunday, 15 minutes, I open every account and just look. No judgment, no panic, just awareness. That habit alone, just the act of consistently looking, changed my relationship with money more than almost anything else I've done. You cannot fix what you refuse to see. So here's where we land. 8 habits. None of them dramatic. None of them feel like bad decisions in the moment. Deferred starting, paying yourself last, subscription fog, emotional spending, ignoring small leaks, no budget budgeting, the upgrade default, and financial avoidance. The reason these habits are invisible is because they live inside normal life. They don't look like financial mistakes. They look like just getting through the week. And fixing them doesn't require a dramatic personality overhaul or a sudden surge of discipline. It requires one small change at a time, made consistently. Pick the one habit on this list that hit the closest to home. Just one. This week, make one change to address it. Not a perfect system, not a full life restructure, one change. Because here's what I know for certain. The version of you that starts today, even imperfectly, is going to be in a completely different place 1 year from now than the version of you that waits for the perfect moment to begin.